Hey everybody, Chris here. In this video, we're going to be looking at Dogecoin Buy Zones. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when my new videos come out, as well as when I do live streams. The next live will be Friday afternoon, about 4 o'clock p.m. East Coast time. So make sure you're subscribed. You've got your notifications on. Join in, ask your questions. We cover not only Doge, we cover Bitcoin and ETH and other cryptos as well, along with the overall financial situation that's going on in personal finances as well. So come ask your questions. We'll explore it all together. Right now, though, we've got the latest news in the charts. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we start here with the current Dogecoin chart at 9.3 cents. Yeah, still 9.3, right in that range above 9 cents. We did drop down here yesterday, just about to 9 cents, but did not breach it. We have this downward sloping trend line here, which was resistance. So we had this resistance all the way back from that V-shaped drop that we had here on February 5th. And we did get above it a little bit here on Thursday, dropped below, came back above, and bounced off it a couple times as support. So that's a good sign, at least, that we're not in that downward trend. So we're kind of bleeding out sideways now. Same thing with Bitcoin. We look at the Bitcoin downward trend line as well. Again, broke out above, came back down to about 65K. I was predicting 64.4 based on the heat maps, and I'll show those heat maps updated in just a little bit. But we've come back above, so no longer in that downward trend, again, bleeding out sideways. And that's pretty much across the crypto board that we see. Everything kind of following each other. Bitcoin dominance is at 59%, as it has been right around this range, up and down, up and down. So there's really no change right now. Bear market, yeah, bear market does have pauses. Sometimes we see little relief rallies, of which I still think we're going to have one coming up, probably in March, April timeframe. We will be watching for that. But overall, is this a good time to buy? That's the question I always get, right? So I will show you the zones in just a little bit. Let's get with the news first. The chance of another U.S. government shutdown starting tomorrow is dropping. That's right. All of a sudden, we're all the way down to 26%. And we were all the way up like 80, 85%, almost 90%. And then it just dropped. So there must have been some news. I looked around. I didn't see any specific news about that. But somebody knows something. So it looks like there may not be the government shutdown now. Is it going to be a partial government shutdown or something? I don't know. But here we are. Interest rates for March. Now down to about 8% probability there's going to be a 25 basis point rate cut. So pretty much no, they're just going to pause, even though we had a good jobs report. And well, this morning we've got CPI dropping, so we'll see how the inflation looks. But right now, it's just, as I said, it's probably going to be no cut, March, April. Jerome Powell is just going to leave his position at the end of April with no more rate cuts. And then Warsh will come in and we'll see whether politics plays a role in the rate cuts. Again, here's the U.S. economic data that's going to be released today. The CPI data, headline CPI core, month over month, year over year. We'll be looking at these numbers. Volatility, some say. There's going to be volatility, and I don't know whether we're going to see that. Usually, right now, it's going to be pretty close to these numbers. Stock market may do a little bit of up and down jazz, but I think we're going to be relatively sideways again today. The World Uncertainty Index is still, we saw this the other day, it's still way up compared to where it's been over the years. The markets don't like volatility. They don't like uncertainty. This is still not good overall. Crypto is cooked, Max Crypto says. Gold and silver are not acting like a store of value. Stocks are looking weak, even though they're still near all-time highs. We had a big red day yesterday, and we'll see whether that continues into today. Fiat currencies are losing value, thanks to inflation. Savings accounts don't pay well. What do you get, 0.05 interest, percentage or something with your savings? Unless you get a CD. Remember when CDs were really big, certificates of deposit? And now you barely get anything on those. The banks don't like you, remember? They don't like you. So where should one invest their money now? What do you do? What do you do with your money? It's like nothing's working. I know a lot of people are still betting on gold and silver to go back up, which could be. I'm guessing they're probably going to be relatively stable now. I don't think we're going to see that huge run again, just like we saw over the past few months in gold and silver. There are some stocks that may do well, but there's always that chance of a big drop in the overall stock market. So yeah, what do you do? Heat maps. Bitcoin is stuck between two major liquidity zones. On the upside, there are big short liquidations between 69K and 74K. On the downside, there are decent long liquidations between 64 and 66. This is where I thought the zone was, at least down to 64.4 on the dip that we had, and it didn't quite get there. That doesn't mean it doesn't come back and get it. But when you zoom out and you look at the bigger picture, Crypto Rover saying huge liquidity cluster below 60K, like all the way down here. And these have been open for a long time. That's a target. That's a big target. And if we see that another huge decline in Bitcoin, like we've seen twice already, a third one could come all the way down, and this could be the 48K, something like that. And that is the level that would take out hundreds of millions of dollars of leverage trades that are still open. These traders are betting Bitcoin price is going to go back up. Again, this is what moves the markets. If you haven't been watching me before, we talk about the leverage trading. We talk about the exchanges and the market makers and how they control the market, particularly when there's bad, low sentiment, weak market for crypto. That's what can happen. Sometimes it takes a little while to play out. Someone's always saying, Chris, it didn't drop to 64K like you said. And I said, give it time. Give it time. So here's that downward sloping resistance line. So Bitcoin is broken above that. And Dan Crypto has kind of as a wedge. Attempted a breakout yesterday, got slammed back down at 68K. That's the area to watch if this wants to see another leg up at some point. And I think this is just going to bleed out sideways. And the weekly RSI for altcoins is touching 30. So we're all the way down to this purple line of 30. And this is on, this is total 2. So it's crypto market cap excluding Bitcoin and ETH. So you take out Bitcoin and ETH, and this is the rest of cryptos. It's like all the other alts. And we're down to 30. So the last time we were down at 30 was 2022. So if you don't want to believe we're in a bear market, particularly with alts, yes, we're in a bear market. Because that's the sign there. From there, when the RSI hit 30, it took about 6 months. In other words, that entire summer. It kind of was spring into summer, where alts just kind of lagged. They had a little relief rally, and that got the RSI up into about the 40 range, but then kind of drifted sideways, and that's what we could see. So our main altcoins bottom would be mid-August unless the special bullish scenario is accomplishing, and that's what Jimmy's saying. But again, I believe that's only Dogecoin that can do that. I don't think anything else is going to have that kind of catalyst that's going to get the market to pump. Again, we'll look at that in just a second on our buy zone scenario. But yeah, August, and this is what I've been saying. I'm saying I'm waiting for August to start buying back in. I am not buying right now. As I've said, Dogecoin Fear and Greed Index is still at 20 extreme fear. The overall Bitcoin and crypto index is still down below 10. Dogecoins is a little bit better. We got the Doge fam, right? We're all cool. Except if our portfolios are too red, we might not be as cool, which I know I hear from some of you that that's the case. But overall, yeah, we're still in the extreme fear range. So here we go. This is our friend Trader Alan. This is an interesting chart here. So looking back, 2022, right here, we had the big pump right near the end of the bear market. We had a big pump in Doge, and what was that? That was Elon buying Twitter. End of October 2022. Elon bought Twitter, and Dogecoin went from about 7 cents, spiked up to like 16 cents. And that was a sort of top signal for scalpers and swing traders. That was the time on this big pump to take some profits there. And then Doge drifted back down. When it bottomed out in, this was October 2023, we were buying at 5.7 cents. That's where we were buying. We were buying that whole end of the summer there on this channel. I made a Chris Pack's portfolio here, was buying alts, was buying Doge, all down here. That was the buy zone. And then what happened in early 2024, we had a big run again, particularly in meme coins. This was a lot of Pepe, but it was Sheeb went up as well. And of course, Doge, and Doge came up to 24 cents or so. And so that was a swing trading sell time after that big pump. And throughout the rest of 2024, leading up to the election, there was a buy zone again. And that's when I said, this is a gift right here. When Dogecoin dropped below 10 cents, that was a gift there right before the election. We knew something big was going to happen. And of course, Dogecoin exploded up to 48 cents. Alan's calling this a deviation from these lines. So that was certainly profit-taking time. I took some profits up here at 42 cents. Was hoping for 50. That was my next sell target, and we didn't quite hit it. And then we had all the tariff fears and such, and that's when I took most of my profits, was on the backside right here. Right when there was a little bit of a pump that came back up, and I was like, okay, I'm out. That was about 85% of my crypto was sold there. And just, I keep the Doge just in case there's another big spike in a bear market, as we were going into. Well, it wasn't time for a bear yet. We were hoping 2025 was positive, and it was moving up. We were moving up until October 10th, and that's that wick all the way down to 9.5 cents. We had that big wick October 10th, and now this is the downside deviation, bear market. What happens here? Do we drop a little further? Are we going to come anywhere near those 2023 summer lows? That's what we're watching. But if you look at these deviations, sell, buy. That is the buy zone here. Now, I am still waiting for the summer. I think we'll still drift down a little lower like we did 2022 into 2023. There's always the chance, though, of an Elon spike, an Elon thing that can get this market to spike up. So that's where we are right now in the overall chart. Interesting, zoomed out, looking at the big picture of Doge, that is what we have. And then in the end, I love the Doge meme girl. Got a second job just to buy the dips. The dip is my life now. I live in the dip. So there we go. I hope you all are doing well, holding on. We got a ways to go here in 2026. Join in on the live stream. Leave a comment below. What do you think about the buy zones and those sell zones and how that is going to work going forward? We'll be doing that together. I'm still here all through the bear market. Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.